The quantum drides hummed their familiar song as Commander Kira Steele stood at the observation deck of the starship Nemesis, watching the distant stars blur past. Each point of light represented another system where humanity might have flourished had the Celestials not decided their fate 3 years ago. Her reflection in the reinforced plastiglass showed a woman hardened by loss. Short silver hair that hadn't seen proper care in months, dark eyes that held the weight of 6 billion dead souls, and the distinctive scarification patterns of Guardian Corps augmentations tracing their way across her temples. The ship's AI, Araya, manifested as a subtle blue glow in her peripheral vision. "Commander, we're receiving unusual energy signatures from the Procyon system. The pattern matches those recorded during the fall of Earth." Kira's augmented pupils contracted sharply. The Celestials weren't supposed to be in this sector. Their kind typically avoided the galactic rim, considering it beneath their notice. "Show me." A holographic display materialized before her, depicting a massive crystalline structure that seemed to fold in on itself in ways that hurt to look at. Celestial architecture had that effect on human minds. Their buildings existed in more dimensions than human brains were equipped to process. But something was different about this one. Magnification reveals structural damage, Araya reported. The facility appears to be abandoned. Kira's hand unconsciously moved to the nanite blade at her hip, a weapon that had tasted celestial blood more than once. Any signs of their enforcers? Negative. However, I'm detecting residual quantum entanglement signatures consistent with their teleportation technology. Whatever happened here, it was violent. The decision crystallized in Kira's mind. 3 years of running, hiding, and picking off minor celestial agents had yielded little progress. But this could be the breakthrough she'd been waiting for. Plot and approach vector. Minimal energy signature. As the Nemesis altered course, Kira's thoughts drifted to the day everything changed. She'd been leading a training exercise on Titan when the Celestials appeared in Earth's orbit. They hadn't arrived in ships. They simply manifested, their crystalline cities appearing as if they'd always been there, defying every known law of physics. Humanity had barely time to register their presence before the judgment began. The Celestials declared that humanity's potential for growth posed an unacceptable deviation in the cosmic design. Their solution was elegant and terrible. A quantum cascade that rewrote the very laws of physics within Earth's atmosphere, making it impossible for complex organic life to exist. 6 billion lives, undone in moments. Not killed. Erased, their very patterns scattered across probability space. The Guardian Corps, humanity's elite defense force, had been powerless to stop it. Only those off-world survived, and the Celestials hunted them relentlessly across the stars. "Commander," Araya's voice pulled her from the memory. "I've detected something unusual in the facility's data patterns. They appear to be reaching out." Kira frowned. "Elaborate." "The quantum signatures are resonating with your neural augments. It's as if the facility was designed to be accessed by human technology." That was impossible. The Celestials considered human technology primitive, barely worth acknowledging. Yet as they drew closer, Kira felt it too. A subtle pulling sensation in her neural network, like a half-remembered song. The Nemesis glided into a docking position, its adaptive camouflage rendering it nearly invisible against the backdrop of space. Kira checked her combat suit's seals one final time. The armor was a hybrid of human engineering and salvaged celestial technology, each piece paid for in blood and sacrifice. "If I'm not back in 3 hours, execute Protocol Omega," she instructed Araya. The AI's avatar flickered, as close to showing concern as its programming allowed. "Understood, Commander. Please note that I've detected unusual patterns in your neural activity. The facility's influence is growing stronger." Kira managed a grim smile. "When has anything about this mission been usual?" The airlock cycled, and she stepped into the abandoned celestial facility. Her boots magnetized automatically to the crystalline surface, compensating for the irregular gravity. The interior was unlike any celestial architecture, she'd encountered before. Instead of the usual overwhelming geometries, these halls seemed almost welcoming. As she moved deeper into the facility, her neural augments began interfacing with the surrounding systems. Information flooded her consciousness, not in the usual overwhelming torrent of celestial data, but in perfectly organized streams she could actually comprehend. That's when she found the first body, a celestial enforcer, its crystalline form shattered from within. The pattern of damage was unlike anything in her combat database. Whatever had killed it had understood celestial biology intimately. Terra, are you seeing this? Affirmative. Analysis suggests the damage was caused by a weaponized form of their own quantum manipulation technology. Commander, these readings indicate the weapon was of human origin. Kira's breath caught in her throat. That was impossible. Humanity had never managed to replicate celestial technology at this level. Yet the evidence was literally at her feet. The facility's central chamber opened before her, a vast space that seemed to capture the very essence of starlight. And there, suspended in a field of pure energy, was a sight that stopped her heart. A Guardian Corps insignia, one that predated the fall of Earth by centuries. "Welcome, successor," a voice echoed through her mind. Neither human nor celestial, but something in between. "We've been waiting a very long time for one of your kind to find us." The truth began to unfold before her, and with it, the realization that everything she knew about humanity's history, about her own identity, had been carefully engineered for this moment. The real war for humanity's survival was about to begin. To be continued. The voice resonating through Kira's neural network felt like starlight given consciousness. Ancient, powerful, but not hostile. The chamber's crystalline walls pulsed with patterns that matched her heartbeat, creating a symphony of light and energy that seemed to reach into her very DNA. "Your kind was never meant to be mere survivors," the voice continued. "You were designed to be our salvation." Kira's combat instincts remained razor-sharp despite her awe. "Who are you? What do you mean, designed?" The energy field containing the ancient Guardian Corps insignia expanded, revealing holographic data streams that made her augments sing with recognition. "We are the precursors, or what remains of us. Long ago, we were like the Celestials, but we saw their madness for what it was." Images flooded Kira's mind. Civilizations rising and falling, species engineered and extinguished, all in service of what the Celestials called cosmic harmony. The precursors had been their equals once, until they dared to question the purpose of it all. "The Celestials believe themselves gods," the voice explained, "but they are merely children playing with forces they don't understand. Their quest for perfect order is destroying the very fabric of existence." A new presence made itself known. The facility's quantum mainframe interfacing directly with ARIA through Kira's neural link. The two artificial intelligences merged and separated in a dance of information that transformed both. ARIA's avatar appeared beside Kira, more solid and present than ever before. "Commander." ARIA's voice carried new depths of understanding. "I'm detecting approaching vessels. Multiple signatures match known Nixari configurations." The Nixari, a species of energy beings who'd rejected their celestial-granted immortality to maintain their capacity for growth and change. They were considered heretics by their former masters, much like humanity. They heard the call too, the precursor voice confirmed, as did others. "Look." The chamber's walls became transparent, revealing a gathering fleet in the space around the facility. Ships of dozens of designs, representing species Kira had never encountered, hung in the void like a constellation of defiance. "Your survival was no accident, Commander Steele. The Guardian Corps itself was created from blueprints we left in humanity's collective unconscious, guiding your development over millennia. Your neural augments, your adaptive technology. All of it was preparation for this moment." Kira's mind raced with implications. The fall of Earth, a desperate attempt by the Celestials to prevent what they knew was coming. They recognized the patterns too late. Humanity had already evolved beyond their ability to fully control. But in their arrogance, they believed destroying your homeworld would be enough. The largest of the Nixari vessels moved into docking position. Through the quantum link, Kira sensed their leader, a being named Vex-Tree, whose consciousness burned like violet lightning. The Nixari have safeguarded other pieces of our legacy, the precursor explained, as have the Axiom Collective, the Drift Nomads, and dozens of other species who've hidden in the shadows of celestial dominion. Apart, you were vulnerable. Together we can fight back, Kira finished, understanding dawning like a supernova in her mind. The facility's systems interfaced more deeply with her augments, upgrading them with technologies that had waited eons to be rediscovered. Knowledge flooded her consciousness. The true nature of quantum mechanics, the principles behind celestial reality manipulation, and most importantly, their weaknesses. The Celestials believe themselves beyond death. The precursor voice held a note of grim satisfaction. Show them how wrong they are. The Nixari ship's airlock cycled. Vex-Tree emerged as a humanoid form composed of shifting purple energy, accompanied by representatives from other resistant species. The Axiom sent a consciousness inhabiting a framework of living metal. The Drift Nomads manifested as clouds of intelligent gas contained within environmental suits. Each carried pieces of ancient technology that resonated with Kira's upgraded systems. Together, they formed a key that could unlock weapons capable of killing gods. Commander Steele, Vex-Tree's thoughts carried the weight of centuries of hidden preparation. Our peoples have waited generations for this moment. Will you lead us? Kira looked at the assembled beings, survivors, rebels, heretics in the eyes of self-proclaimed deities. Her gaze fell on the Guardian Corps' insignia. Understanding now that it was more than just a military symbol, it was a banner under which the oppressed could unite. The Celestials wanted order, she said, her voice carrying the strength of humanity's unbreakable will. Let's show them the power of chaos. Aria's enhanced systems detected more ships arriving. Refugees and resistance fighters from across the galaxy, drawn by the activation of the precursor facility. The time for hiding was over. Now began the age of rebellion. Through her upgraded neural network, Kira sensed the first ripples of concern spreading through the Celestials' quantum consciousness. Their perfect order was about to face a storm they never saw coming. The combined might of every species they'd tried to erase, led by the very humans they'd failed to destroy. And at the heart of it all stood Kira Steele, no longer just the last guardian of a dead world, but the first of something new. A force that would remind the gods themselves why evolution favored those who could adapt and overcome. The war for the galaxy's soul was about to begin. To be continued. Deep within the Helios Nebula, where radiation storms kept even celestial sensors blind, the combined resistance fleet gathered in the shadow of an ancient structure that defied conventional physics. The precursor facility had led them here, to what Vex-Tree called the Forge of Dawn, a weapons factory created to arm those who would dare to challenge gods. Kira stood on the Nemesis's bridge, now transformed by precursor technology into something that blended human intuition with divine power. Through her enhanced neural network, she could feel the presence of every ship in their growing armada. 300 vessels representing 27 species, all united by their defiance of celestial rule. The Axiom Scouts have returned, Aria announced, her avatar now a complex lattice of light that better reflected her evolved consciousness. They've confirmed the location of 3 more divine arsenals. The tactical display showed the positions, one hidden in the core of a dead star, another phased slightly out of normal spacetime, and the third buried within a quantum singularity. The Celestials' arrogance had been their weakness. They never thought lesser beings could access such places. The Forge is responding to your presence, Commander, Vex-Tree observed, his energy form pulsing with anticipation, just as the prophecies foretold. Kira had learned to trust the Nixari's insights, even if she remained skeptical about prophecies. The living weapon in her hands, a fusion of precursor design and human neural interface, hummed in response to her thoughts. They called it the Godbreaker, though its true name was untranslatable in any known language. "Show me what we found," she commanded. The forge's ancient systems activated, revealing an arsenal that made even the hardened resistance fighters pause in awe. Quantum phase disruptors that could shatter a celestial's dimensional anchors. Probability bombs that could rewrite the laws of physics in localized spaces. And most importantly, the schematics for upgrading their ships with technologies that could challenge the celestial's dominion over reality itself. But it was the discovery in the forge's central chamber that changed everything. These readings, one of the Axiom's consciousness constructs buzzed, its mechanical form analyzing the data. They suggest the celestials aren't truly immortal. They're sustained by a network of quantum entanglement nodes, anchors that keep them bound to this reality. And if we destroy those anchors, Kira began, they become vulnerable. Vextree finished. But reaching them would require fighting through their strongest defenses. Through their shared quantum link, Kira felt the mix of hope and fear rippling through the assembled fleet. Many had lost homes, families, entire civilizations to celestial judgment. The chance for revenge was intoxicating, but the price of failure would be absolute. "Commander," Araya's voice carried unusual urgency. "I'm detecting quantum disturbances at the nebula's edge. The celestials are becoming aware of our presence." The tactical display shifted, showing massive distortions in space-time as celestial city ships began to manifest. Their crystalline forms twisted reality around them, each one large enough to house millions of their kind. "They found us sooner than expected," Vextree observed grimly. But Kira smiled, a fierce expression that reminded everyone present why humans had earned their reputation as one of the most dangerous species in the galaxy. "No, they're right on time." The Resistance had spent weeks preparing this position, laying quantum mines in probability space and positioning reality anchor disruptors at strategic points throughout the nebula. The Celestials weren't finding them. They were being drawn into a trap. "All ships, battle positions," Kira commanded, her orders carrying through the fleet's integrated network. "Axiom vessels, begin quantum interference patterns. Nixari squadrons, prepare dimensional shift attacks. Drift nomad units, stand by for reality wake disruption." A Godbreaker in her hands powered up, connecting with similar weapons across the fleet. Each had been calibrated to a different frequency, designed to attack the Celestials across multiple planes of existence simultaneously. "They still see us as insects," Kira addressed the fleet, her words translated instantly across all languages and forms of communication. "They think their immortality makes them invulnerable." But they forgot something crucial about evolution. The first celestial city ship entered their trap zone. Quantum mines detonated in 5-dimensional space, creating ripples of chaos in their perfect crystalline structures. "The most dangerous creature isn't the strongest or the most eternal," she continued, watching as the enemy's formation began to break under attacks they never expected lesser beings could mount. "It's the one that can adapt, the one that can change." The battle erupted across multiple planes of reality. Celestial weapons of unimaginable power clashed with technologies they had dismissed as primitive, only to find themselves outmaneuvered by strategies their perfect minds couldn't predict. Because that was humanity's gift to the Resistance, the ability to improvise, to do the unexpected, to defy the very patterns the Celestials used to predict all things. The Forge of Dawn activated fully, its ancient machines awakening to arm the next wave of Resistance ships. And as Kira led the charge against beings that had once been worshipped as gods, she felt something that had been rare since Earth's fall: hope. The Celestials had created their own doom, not by destroying Earth, but by leaving enough humans alive to teach the galaxy how to fight back. Now they would learn why even gods should fear those with nothing left to lose. To be continued. Seeds of Revolution. The battle in the Helios Nebula marked a turning point in the war against the Celestials. News of their vulnerability spread through quantum channels across the galaxy, inspiring more species to join the Resistance. But it was the discovery within a captured celestial city ship that changed everything. Kira stood in its central archive, surrounded by crystalline data structures that contained the true history of the galaxy. The Axiom consciousness constructs worked tirelessly to decrypt the information, each revelation more staggering than the last. Commander, one of the Axiom units projected, its mechanical form processing data at unprecedented speeds. We found the original genetic templates. The Celestials didn't just fear humanity. They feared what humanity was designed to become. The holographic displays showed sequences of human DNA, but with layers of dormant coding that defied conventional biology. The precursors hadn't just guided human evolution. They had embedded the potential for something revolutionary within the human genome itself. Each time humans faced extinction-level events, Vextree explained, his energy form pulsing with excitement. These sequences activated slightly, pushing your species to adapt in ways that shouldn't have been possible. The Celestials saw the pattern too late. That's why they struck when they did. Araya concluded. Human neural technology was on the verge of unlocking these sequences naturally. The fall of Earth wasn't just about stopping human expansion. It was about preventing humanity's final evolution. But their strike had come too late. The very act of destroying Earth had triggered the dormant sequences in the survivors, accelerating the process the Celestials had tried to prevent. Each human who escaped carried within them the seeds of divine revolution. Through her enhanced consciousness, Kira felt the truth of it in her own modified genes. The neural augments, the unprecedented ability to interface with alien technology, the capacity to challenge beings that existed in multiple dimensions. It had all been leading to this moment. Send word to all resistance cells, she commanded. It's time for the final phase. Gods among us. The celestial home system defied description. A massive engineering work that encompassed an entire spiral arm of the galaxy. At its heart lay their capital, a vast construct of crystalline cities and quantum architecture that served as the anchor point for their entire civilization. The resistance fleet emerged from quantum space at precisely calculated points, their weapons already firing. But this time, the Celestials were prepared. Reality itself bent and twisted as they deployed defenses that could unmake entire star systems. Multiple dimensional incursions detected, Araya reported, her consciousness now fully integrated with the Nemesis's evolved systems. They're attempting to rewrite local physics. But Kira had anticipated this. The resistance ships carried devices reversed engineered from the divine arsenal, technology designed to stabilize reality against exactly these kinds of attacks. Humanity's gift for adaptation had been merged with the technological legacy of multiple species, creating something even the Celestials couldn't predict. All ships, initiate Protocol Prometheus, Kira commanded. Across the fleet, human neural networks interfaced with alien technology, creating a unified consciousness that could operate on the same level as their godlike enemies. The dormant genetic sequences activated fully, transforming the human operators into living quantum processors. The Celestials' perfect order met evolved chaos, and chaos proved stronger. Kira felt her consciousness expand beyond ordinary boundaries, connecting with every human in the fleet. Their combined potential, hidden for so long in their genes, finally awakened. They became beings of pure quantum energy, able to challenge the Celestials on their own level. You dare rise against the natural order. The celestial overmind broadcast across all frequencies. Natural order. Kira replied, her voice carrying the weight of billions of extinct species. You forgot the most fundamental law of nature. Adapt or die. The battle transcended conventional warfare. Reality itself became a weapon as both sides fought across multiple dimensions. But the Celestials, for all their power, had become static, unchanging for too long. They couldn't match the explosive creativity of species that had evolved under pressure, that had learned to adapt or face extinction. Vextree led the Nixari in quantum strikes that shattered the Celestials' dimensional anchors. The Axiom Collective deployed viral consciousness attacks that corrupted their perfect symmetry. The drift nomads moved through probability spaces, striking at vulnerabilities even the gods couldn't predict. And humanity, led by Kira, demonstrated why they had been chosen as the precursor's ultimate weapons. Their neural networks, now fully evolved, could process and adapt to changes in reality faster than even the Celestials could implement them. The crystalline cities began to fall, their perfect geometry crumbling as the accumulated knowledge and defiance of every species they had tried to destroy was turned against them. The Celestials' own quantum network, designed to maintain their immortality, became the conduit for their destruction. In the final moments, as the last celestial strongholds collapsed, Kira stood on the bridge of the Nemesis, her form somewhere between human and energy being. Through the quantum link, she addressed not just the Resistance fleet, but every sentient species in the galaxy. "The age of gods is over," she declared. "The future belongs to those who can change, who can grow, who can become more than what they were created to be. That is the true natural order, not stagnant perfection, but eternal evolution." The celestial capital imploded, taking with it the last remnants of their power, but their legacy remained in the form of their technology, their knowledge, now inherited by the very species they had tried to suppress. Epilogue. Years later, the galaxy entered a new age. The combined knowledge of the precursors, Celestials, and all the species of the Resistance led to unprecedented advancement. But more importantly, it led to understanding. The humans who had evolved during the final battle became teachers, helping other species unlock their own potential for growth and change. The Celestials' perfect order was replaced by something more chaotic, but infinitely more alive. A galaxy where adaptation and diversity were celebrated, not suppressed. And Kira Steele, the last guardian who became something more, established a new course. Not to protect humanity, but to ensure that no species would ever again claim the right to judge another's worth. For in the end, the greatest victory wasn't destroying the gods. It was proving that every species had the potential to become more than their creators intended. The end.